good, y'all. I forgot to do a prediction for Steve Nelson versus Diego Pacheco. This is going to be a high volume fight. A lot of punches going to be thrown in this fight, man. You got Pacheco. He's a volume puncher. He throws a lot of punches. Steve Nelson throws a little bit less punches than him, but he's more of a calculated, more of a patient fighter than Pacheco is. But should be a very explosive fight, man. But I'm going to give my prediction real quick for this fight that is taking place tonight, all right, for in the 168-pound division, man. So, look, we got Steve Nelson, man. He's at 20 wins, no losses, no draws, 16 wins by knockout, 80% knockout ratio. He's 36 years old, 5'10". My man got a 75.5-inch arm reach, bro. Wow. So, yeah, a little on the older side, Steve Nelson, but very good, calculated fighter. He has mediocre speed, very strong. He can counter, good, decent counter puncher. Excellent. He got good, decent body work. Nice little sneaky uppercut he be throwing once in a while that I like. Trains with Terrence Crawford in that camp over there. Always like Steve Nelson, man. Always to me very calculated. Reminds me of a throwback fighter, So that is my guy, Steve Nelson, man. In a nutshell. Okay. Now, Diego Pacheco, all right. He stands at 22 wins, no losses, no draws, 18 big wins by knockout. He has an 81% knockout ratio. So, yeah, these dudes both working with some serious punching power. I think in this fight, somebody is definitely going to sleep, for sure. Both of them are defeated, so somebody must go. All right? Pacheco is more of a volume puncher, fast-paced fighter, likes to come forward. He has a pretty good right hand. He has good speed. Thing is with him that I see that I don't like is his defense is kind of spotty, man. He don't really tuck his chin, and he leave himself open a lot when he's throwing his flurries too. That's another thing I noticed. He's 23 years old though, so he's much younger than Steve Nelson, man. So that's another thing to consider. He's 6'4", okay, and he has a 79-inch arm reach, man. Ah, man, this is why this fight is interesting, because Steve Nelson, he does have pretty long arms, but not 79 inches long, so he's much shorter than Pacheco. He's going to have to work his way in a little bit. I see him going to the body. He has pretty good defense when he's on the inside as well. Pacheco is just a wild dude. He's a wild puncher. Sometimes he's a little irresponsible. The way I see it going is you're going to see Pacheco trying to press Steve Nelson because he's a smaller dude, shorter guy. He's going to try to attack his body. I see a lot of body work from Pacheco. And I think he's going to try to back Steve up to the ropes later on in the fight because he knows Steve is a little older. There's a chance Steve might get tired. That's another thing to keep in mind in this fight. He might gas a little bit towards the end. Unless he conserves his energy and tries to make it a full bull fight, which is not really a good idea with Diego Pacheco. So I can see him trying to utilize his feet a little bit in this fight as well. But ultimately, man, Steve Nelson, I think he got a good chance of winning this fight because Pacheco's his irresponsible defense. I see him trying to throw flurries and catch Steve Nelson, and I see Steve Nelson clipping him with something in between those shots. I see him countering him with something big, possibly stopping him. This fight go either way, y'all. This is one of those fights. It's a little hard to predict, but it can go either way because these dudes got thumped. And Steve Nelson, he can catch him with a good counter shot and knock him out. Pacheco could catch Steve Nelson with a good right hand and overhand right, knock him out. So, but I ultimately think Pacheco's wildness and his irresponsible defense is going to get him in trouble in this fight. So I got him getting clipped and possibly hurt and wobbled, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe round 7 or 8. All right, I think beyond that, Steve Nelson will probably take it to like a UD or something like that. But I think he's gonna get stopped maybe around 7 to 8. I'll give for Steve Nelson to knock him out because of his irresponsible defense. But don't leave a stoppage for Pacheco off the table either, because that's a possibility, strong possibility. But I think Steve Nelson's defense, I think he's gonna be much more defensively responsible. Especially he's fighting a taller guy, a guy with really long arms and heavy head. So he's gonna be a little bit more cautious, but he's gonna dog it out with him for sure. My prediction for this fight is Steve Nelson by KO, round 8. That's my prediction. This is Rebel Life Boxing. Let me know what you think. Catch y'all later on the next one.